Moving on from the terms now, with 5 complementarians here who see the equal dignity and worth of men and women in God's image and differing in complementary roles for men and women, would you describe for us the place, perhaps very important place, of single women in global missions?
Yeah, it's a really relevant question, because what if 50% of the married people are women? Okay, start there. And then there are very few single men, but lots of single women. So put those two statistics together, the number of women on the mission field is huge. That's right. 70-80%, something like that. And a young woman over there was asking me between sessions about that, and I said we might address it here. I think there are, reasons for that, but I don't think you're addressing. I'm not going to answer the question what the sociocultural reasons for that might be, but rather what's appropriate for them to do and what's the role. What the Bible calls for is men to lead the church and lead the home. Men should be the elders in the church, and men should be the heads of their home. So then to extrapolate that onto the mission field would mean you look for roles corresponding to that. So I don't think it would be appropriate for a woman to be an elder on a mission field. I don't think it's inappropriate for her to fill all kinds of missionary roles that don't involve her in the role of an elder. And I don't think that would exclude evangelism, sharing her faith, and hundreds of other kinds of support roles. And so my guess is historically that the women who have, as singles especially, entered the mission force have been complementarians. They would have happily affirmed that when a church is formed here, a man in this culture should take over, not a woman in this culture should take over, and I would like to get behind that and try to make that happen. And I'm sure that if a woman goes as a witness to her Lord, say as a nurse or as a teacher of English or just as a itinerant evangelist type, she's going to have these borderline ambiguous experiences where I wonder if what I'm doing right now is an elder-like experience. Like I'm sharing the gospel in this village with men and women. And I think at those moments we should cut down a lot of slack and seek to say demeanor and disposition and theological orientation at that moment will make a big difference in whether she crosses the line into do something that the Bible would find disobedient. So that's my take.
In our city in Nagoya, I would say the best missionary that I know, the most effective missionary that I know in Japan is an older single female missionary, a wonderful missionary and friend. And interestingly, the largest church in Nagoya was until recently led by a 94-year-old female pastor. And one thing that I did say at Covenant Theological Seminary when I was speaking there last year is we can complain about what you may see as something that's biblically wrong in terms of the role of women in missions. But if you believe so strongly in that, you go. You go. You fill that pulpit. You stand up. You act on that conviction, and you go and do it in a way that would honor God. So I think that there are men and pastors and seminary-trained guys who need to step it up before you complain about a woman doing something else.
Or at the same time.